Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
An arrest in a crime that Warren's police commissioner calls pure evil.
We are looking in the eyes of a monster.
A heartbroken mother looks on as the person accused of killing her daughter, a man, and a 6-year-old is formally charged with murder.
Is it a start of a second wave? New coronavirus cases on the rise in Michigan, and the state's top health officials are warning things could get a lot worse.
But first, the feds say Governor Whitmer wasn't their only target. The defenders uncovering new clues tonight surrounding the alleged secret plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Thanks for being with us. Federal agents say Virginia Governor Ralph Northam was a potential target for the group, and that's not all.
We want to get right out to defender Sean Lay, who's live in Grand Rapids tonight, where massive amounts of new information surrounding this alleged plot came to light today. Sean?
Massive is correct, Jason. No cameras are allowed inside federal court, but what we were able to listen to, just jaw-dropping, the FBI getting so many details because they had at least 2 men working with them on the inside. They weren't getting paid. They were cooperating because they were so alarmed about what they were hearing from this group. They provided the FBI audio recordings, videos of what was happening, photos of what was going down. And 3 Metro Detroit men the defenders have been focusing on apparently wanted nothing to do with the kidnapping plot. The 3 guys from Metro Detroit apparently calling for assassination of Governor Whitmer. When a group of men met this past summer, they were so angry over COVID shutdowns, the FBI says they focused on 2 targets for kidnapping: Virginia Governor Ralph Northam and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The Local 4 defenders have been digging into the 3 Metro Detroit men charged in this case. Gary Springstead represents Ty Garbin from Heartland.
First of all, my client's 25 years old.
We want to know more about him.
Can you tell us what he was doing for a living? I believe he was an aviation mechanic.
That's a big job.
Yep.
He had a career.
Right? As far as I know, he's never been in trouble.
The FBI says Garbin was a leading member of the group Wolverine Watchmen, who call themselves a militia group. But Garbin was recruited at a Second Amendment rally at the State House to join a group of younger men who believed the Watchmen were all talk and they wanted action. The plan to recruit 200 men to storm the Capitol, firebomb all MSP vehicles outside to limit their response, and kidnap the governor. An FBI agent stating about Ty Garbin. Garbin allegedly wanted far more than that. The agent stating, quote, Garbin stated he was not okay with the Capitol plan. He would be okay with shooting the governor at her house, her private vacation home. The defenders also focusing in on an Orion Township man, Daniel Harris. The FBI says he also wasn't interested in the kidnapping. They say he wanted the governor to be assassinated. An informant providing screen grabs of messages. Garbin reportedly writing, quote, knock on door, just cap her at this point. Caleb Franks from Waterford also allegedly messaged that someone in the group posed as a pizza delivery man and, quote, take a pistol in like 3 rounds. Garbin's lawyer was an FBI agent at one time. In court, it was revealed one of the FBI informants also led some of the training for this group.
Consider the source.
Back here live, that'll be interesting to see how much that plays, that some of the FBI helpers here were helping train some of the guys as well. This bust went down October 7th. The apparent ringleader admitted to the FBI, according to the agent, that his plan all along was to kidnap the governor, put her on her boat, take it to the middle of Lake Michigan, disable the engine, and leave her there, knowing that she would eventually be rescued. We'll see whether that is true or not. What made the FBI act? Coming up at 6 o'clock. A traffic stop in Metro Detroit, right in Canton, may have been the linchpin here. The FBI following this plot the whole way, but they may have had to jump in due to what happened in Canton. Back to you guys.
Boy, the chilling details, Sean. Just do not stop with this case. All right, we'll see you at 6. Thanks.
Well, tonight we're getting our first look at the man charged in what police are calling the execution-style murder of a man, a woman, and a 6-year-old little boy. Nicholas Bari faces multiple homicide charges, with all of them facing life sentences. Victor Williams is following today's arraignment. And Victor, this man has a long criminal history.
Yes, that's right. Long criminal history indeed, and we're
finally getting a look at him. This right here is Nicholas Bari. Like we said before, he has a long criminal history and now a long list of charges involving the death of 6-year-old Tyrese Moore.
People versus Nicholas Rod Bari.
Nicholas Bari appeared in court, finally answering to a judge for allegedly being the person behind the death of 3, including 6-year-old Tyrese Moore.
Warren PD officers Doe and Wiggins entered the home and found victim number 2, Isis Rimson, black female 28, and victim number 3, Tyrese Moore, a black male 6 years of age, deceased with multiple gunshot wounds in the basement of the home. He's
facing 15 charges, including 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of felony firearm. But while he was inside being arraigned,
I see him leaving his house. Killed my baby.
The mother of Isis Rimson was outside the courtroom, openly grieving and hoping for justice.
My grandbaby will live without her mother for the rest of her life.
Back inside, Bari wasn't able to afford an attorney, asking the court to appoint one for him.
I think I should get an attorney.
You want the court?
I think maybe I need to get appointed one.
Okay.
But whatever you did, was it worth it? And you still don't have money to get your own, and you need a court-appointed attorney?
And as far as the motive in this horrific case,
it was all about drugs and money. And I'll leave it at that.
My daughter, 6-year-old stepson, her fiance, they deserve to rest in peace. Was material things and money worth these people's lives?
Now, in the past, Bari has been charged with possession of narcotics. On top of that, breaking and entering. He's due back in court on October the 22nd. Reporting live in Warren, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Awful story. Okay, Victor, thanks.
Now to today's coronavirus case count, which is significantly higher. In the past 24 hours, 1,237 new cases have been confirmed and 30 new deaths have been reported, including 10 from a review of past vital records.
Over the past few weeks, we have been watching a steady increase in COVID-19 cases throughout the state.
This afternoon, the state's chief medical executive held a conference call to address some of the growing concerns. Dr. Frank McGeorge was on that call and is here with the important message they want people to hear. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Jason and Kimberly. State health officials are asking all Michigan residents to increase vigilance and preventative measures. Michigan is now beginning to see a clear upward trend in cases and hospitalizations, and we need to do everything we can to avoid finding ourselves in the same situation we saw in the spring.
It is very possible that this is the beginning of a second wave.
That's Dr. Jonay Caldoun, Chief Medical Executive for the state of Michigan.
In April, we had our initial surge, and we were able to successfully bring that curve back down. However, we've slowly trended upwards again, and we are currently at about 89 cases per million people. On September 28th, we had the highest rate we'd seen in the state since April 14th.
In many cases, this is linked to people simply not following recommendations.
The virus has not changed in that it is an opportunist. If people are not wearing a mask, if people are gathering, if people are not washing their hands, it is going to spread. We also know that there are many outbreaks occurring across the state. We recorded 123 new outbreaks the week of October 8th. The highest number of new outbreaks since we began recording.
Several outbreaks have been connected to schools, long-term care facilities, restaurants, and social gatherings, such as funerals, weddings, or parties.
And this is leading to severe infections.
Hospitalizations are increasing in every region of the state for the past 2 weeks. This means that people are getting sick, and over the next several weeks, it is possible that we will see deaths increasing as people fight for their lives in the hospital.
Now, Dr. Caldoun also noted that in many places across the state, the case numbers are actually the highest that they have been throughout the entire pandemic.
Doc, would those be hotspots at this point? Did she talk at all about if there are any hotspots?
Well, yeah, Jason, the UP is a particularly concerning area right now. They've seen a significant increase in cases as well as an increase in the percent positive on testing, which really suggests that it is being spread locally, not because of tourism.
Yeah. All right, Doc, thanks.
A Monroe County man is charged with a federal hate crime after allegedly attacking a black teenager because of his race. 42-year-old Lee Moat of Newport is charged with willfully causing bodily injury. According to the criminal complaint, Moat confronted a group of teenagers, including the victim, at Sterling State Park in Monroe. Police say he used racial slurs and then attacked 18-year-old Devin Freeland with a bike chain that had a lock attached to it. If convicted, he faces 10 years in prison.
Day 2 of confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Judge Amy Coney Barrett are underway on Capitol Hill.
And while the judge stayed mum on several major issues, she candidly answered several others. NBC's Susan McGinnis is at the Capitol tonight with more.
Jason and Kimberly, Judge Amy Coney Barrett facing tough questions from lawmakers on Capitol Hill today, but some of them are finding it tough to get the answers they want. Promising the Constitution will guide her decisions, Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett repeatedly asked to stake out positions today on issues from abortion to LGBTQ and gun rights. Her answers echoing the words of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
No hints, no previews, no forecasts.
When pressed how she might rule on a case challenging the Affordable Care Act, the court will hear days after the election, Barrett insisted she has not been influenced by the president and is not hostile to Obamacare.
There's a suggestion that I have an agenda that I want to strike down people's protection for pre-existing conditions. That's just not true.
If confirmed, Barrett would give the court a 6-3 conservative majority. Both Republicans and Democrats aware that she could be a deciding vote for any challenges to abortion rights.
I can't express views on cases or pre-commit to approaching a case any particular way.
She says she's made no commitments to President Trump or anyone else on how she might decide major cases.
Absolutely not. I was never asked, and if I had been, that would have been a short conversation.
And Barrett refused to say if she would recuse herself from cases involving the Affordable Care Act or should a dispute over the results of the November 3rd election end up in the High Court. The most personal moment of the hearing came when Barrett talked about the George Floyd video and how she wept with her adopted daughter, who is black.
To understand that there would be a risk to her brother or the son she might have one day of that kind of brutality has been an ongoing conversation. It's a difficult one for us, like it is for Americans all over the country.
On the broader issue of racism in America, Barrett said it persists, but stopped short of calling it systemic. After today's marathon session, Judge Barrett faces one more day of questioning tomorrow, and a vote could come in 2 weeks. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, Local 4.
All right, well, we are off and running here on a Tuesday. Let's check in with Ben.
Kevin, Jason, hard to find fault with a finish like today. We're going to be crisp tonight with some 50-degree finishes, but it is going to get downright cold towards the back end of this forecast. We'll look at that, some sprinkles tonight, and some beautiful fall leaves in your backyard coming up.
All right, Ben, and the city of Detroit takes the wraps off a huge project that has folks living in this neighborhood very relieved.
But first, the accusers take the stand as a former EMU student stands charged in a string of sexual assaults. Stay with us.